But since we're talking about Chomos, I wanted to ask you some questions about with this U.S. Supreme Court, our new U.S. Supreme Court Justice. I want to say congratulations to Ketanji.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman in 250 years to be on the U.S. Supreme Court. But the Republicans did not vote for her, with the exception. Actually, no. How many? No.
I think it was
two or three.
Yeah, in the House. Yeah.
But the ones that didn't was because of a Chomo. Well, that's what I want to ask you. I don't even know if it's really a Chomo case, but basically, a 17-year-old kid got caught with naked pictures of boys on his computer of kids that were the ages of 13 to 18. Or depending on what the source, another source said from ages 11 to 17. He was 18 at the time. He got caught with these pictures, and it's against the law.
Right.
It's against the law. So she gave them 3 months in jail, 5 years probation. At the time, he could have got like 6 years in prison. Ketanji Brown Jackson said, because you're a teenager and you was looking at teenage boys, I'm not going to give you the whole 7-8 years. I'm going to give you some time so you can reflect on what you did. And I'm going to give you a long ass probation period. And that's basically what it is. So my question is, he never touched on one. He never had sex with anybody. Is he still considered a Chomo from, politics of prison?
I think even the politics of prison would have some kind of understanding a little bit. You know what I mean? Because if you got boys 11 to 17 on your thing, it could have been a situation where he just turned 18. We don't know how long he was even 18 when they caught him.
It's true. Actually, he was doing this from 17 and 18 years old. They was able to track him, and then they figured out he was 17 and then 18 when he was doing this.
Okay. So yeah, you looking at underage boys, it'd be in there somewhere where somebody would be like, well, damn, I mean, it's hard to call him a Chomo just based on, dude, you 17, you looking at a 15-year-old boy, I mean, you gay, obviously, you know what I mean? But
yeah, there's no doubt about that part.
That this is the thing about it. A man that has raised, 4 kids past the age of 18 at this moment. When you're in high school, you turn 18 years old, most people. You can't go back and go date a 16-year-old, even though back in the day, it was totally fine. Now you really have to teach your kids to be conscious that when you turn 18 years old, this is illegal. It's not unthinkable, because you're only 2 grades in front of her or him. But it's illegal now.
Yeah, because let's say you're a senior in high school, you're 17, and you're dating a 10th grader that's 15.
Right.
Then let's say, okay, now a year later, you turn 18, that 15-year-old is now 16. It's a little different now, right?
It's a little different now. And even back when I was in high school, my god brother, he was a 9th grader, and he dated a senior. You know what I mean? And for our side, it was more or less like, hey, go bro, you know what I mean? But nobody realized that this was an 18, 17-year-old girl dating a 14, 15-year-old boy. It was no problem back then, you know what I mean? But it's still illegal. So in his situation, it could be some kind of amount of understanding there. But it's hard to call him a Chomo, bro.
Yeah, and that's what the judge said in her sentencing. I was reading some of it. She said, because you are so close in age with the boys in the photos, I am less likely going to sentence you to the max. I think the max was 7 or 8 years, which to me would have been crazy, right? You got 8 years for having pictures on your computer.
Right.
I'm not even understanding the connect. And let me add this part. These are pictures that he found out were already on the internet. He didn't take these pictures. Right. He don't even know who's in these pictures. He just downloaded them that were already on the internet. So that's another part of it.
Well, a delicate situation. But like you said, at the end of the day, I think dudes would understand. I think people would understand, but everything's not fully explained in prison. When you get to prison and you walk through the door, somebody gonna say, "Oh no, dude is convicted of dating under, having child porn," and nobody's probably, only a few people gonna say, "Well, damn, how old is he? He look young, he look young. How old is he?" And if you say he 18, well, damn, when you turn 18, 3 months ago, so you was doing this at 17. You don't get that kind of comfort all the time. You know what I mean? So
you don't get that understanding. You don't get that understanding
from other guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but by him coming in saying that they were underage boys that he was looking at, people want to know if they was babies. Man, how old was they? Well, they was 15, 17, 12, and you was 17, okay. They wasn't 3, they wasn't 2, they wasn't, it's a situation that I would never have a conversation with because it wouldn't come to my desk based on, for one, that wouldn't come across my desk. I don't know if the Chomo's got a shot caller or something that they, you know what I mean? Because he definitely would be going to a low level. He'd probably go to a camp. He's never been convicted. He wouldn't even make it to a yard. He'd make it to a camp. So it wouldn't be an issue. Okay. Just to be, if you go technical with it,
But my question is the definition of what a Chomo is in prison politics well determined?
It's the difference between child porn and actual Chomo.
I always thought a Chomo had to put hands on.
That's why I say it's a difference. A child porn is dude looking at the kids on the internet. You know what I mean? You disgust me. But a Chomo, no, he needs to be physically handled. You know what I mean? He needs to be physically beaten, stabbed, whatever needs to be done if you're a Chomo. But it is a different. He the child porn guy. You disgust me. You're despicable. But the Chomo, nah, man, it need to be physical. You got to take that serious because you actually molested someone.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the courts look at him as saying, hey, this guy could be a future Chomo, so let's aggressively treat him, through the judicial system now rather than wait. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to if teenage boys that look at teenage boys are future Chomos. I don't even know if that's true.
They're future Chomos, bro. Because what you're going to do is turn 19. Now you're going to be trying to get a little boy 16. And you know what I mean? In your mind, I'm only 3 years older, blah, blah. That's your mind, bro. That's illegal. You know what I mean? In any situation, it's illegal. So that's a Chomo.
Well, he's 27 years old now. His name is Wesley Hawkins. So I want to track this motherfucker.
Right.
And see what he does in his life.
Yeah.
Because maybe he's an example of someone that was just dabbling with some stuff as a confused teenage boy and then realized, hey, that was some dumb shit I was doing.
Well, I think all he did was learn the law. So he's 27. He may have an 18-year-old right now, because he knows the law. You know what I mean? But that don't mean so much his behavior or his preferences changed. You know what I mean? So I would just say he learned his lesson with the law, to not mess with anything underage. But that don't mean, he still might not be preying on younger boys.
Well, it was really interesting how he got caught. I guess the feds have all these dudes out there on the internet watching people, and a fed responded to him and said, hey, we have similar interests. And then he started communicating with that fed, mm-hmm. And then I guess the fed said, hey, what else do you have? And he said, oh, I have this picture. Oh, I have this video. Oh, I got this off the internet. And boom, that's how he got charged.
Man. Yeah, I'm glad they out there. I'm glad they out there patrolling the net.
Yeah,
trying to stop this sort of thing. So much of it, slip through the cracks and people get away. But I believe that he was, with him being dealt with at a young age, I believe it may help him later on to knock it off.
What do you think of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson only giving him 3 months in prison and a 5-year probation, as opposed to the 7 or 8 years he could have got?
I don't think he would deserve 7, 8 years. Being that he didn't touch her. He internet shopping. He looking. He has a a taste for, but he hasn't acted. You can run up in my house and find plans for me to rob this bank all you want, but if I haven't robbed it yet, you don't give me 10, 8, and 7 years. Give me my 1 little 2 years. So I'm gonna be fair with him. You know what I mean? Don't even though, like I say, in his mind, he wasn't being a chomo. He was being a kid that turned 18.
But is the 3 months like almost nothing though?
No, it was definitely nothing. But we don't know the kid's background. Dude could have really been just a good kid that was kind of confused on a few things that didn't seem like he had, wicked ways. I'm sure they read his emails. I'm sure they read text messages. I'm sure they read a lot of stuff that could have, and then again, you just never know who know who. You know what I mean? She could have did that based on somebody came and said, hey, dummy that down for us. Don't get me wrong. Them back alley politics still in effect.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that he could have got 7 or 8 years, but I do think 3 months is not enough to teach this boy a lesson. I think maybe 1 year. I think so. So that's the whole thing of why so many Republicans were against her nomination. Because I was just reading like, oh, she's a chomo lover. She's giving pedophiles a pass. So I just said, let me figure out how many cases. It's just this one case.
Thanks for watching this video clip of Streets and Scholars podcast with Alex, Alonso, and FG. If you want to listen to the entire episode, go to your favorite podcast platform and type in Streets and Scholars. But we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. And thanks for listening to another episode of Streets and Scholars.